Hi, Rick. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Keith. I'm fine. How about yourself?
Good. It's been way too long, Rick. I certainly have missed you.
Oh, thank you. I missed you too, buddy. We missed a couple of weeks. I hope you had a good session doing what you were doing this morning in the gym, as you always do.
Oh, I did, Rick. Thank you so much. So you had a topic that you kind of wanted to cover just a few seconds ago. So
Mhm.
why don't we do that one? And that is daily thinking. Your daily thinking determines the quality of your life. You want to start?
Yeah, that's a great topic. The reason I guess I think it's important is because the quality of our thoughts really determines the quality of our lives. We are creating constantly our own inner reality and our inner thoughts about what we believe to be true and who we believe to be this or that. Those things determine the quality of our life. So what we think about, if it's good, if we're keeping our thoughts positive, if we're keeping our thoughts as non-judgmental as we can, the quality of our lives improves. You know, we what we think about, we don't even think that we're thinking, but we are all the time. And what we think about tends to be from two sources. It's either a subconscious bubbling up of something that you're struggling with or an issue that you're having difficulty resolving, or at least it's unresolved. And then it's other things that we intentionally try to figure out, try to use our conscious mind to think about, which is more choice-based. And I think one of the disciplines that works for me is I've tried to get to the point where I'm thinking of conscious thoughts that are positive, that are non-judgmental, that are about solutions, that are about opportunities, that are about possibilities. And here's the mechanism that I've used to trick myself into doing this. So, for example, I'll have a negative thought about something. Now let's pick a common topic, money. Okay. Oh, I'm a little short this month and I want to dip into savings. Or I've exhausted my savings and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I don't have a safety net. Okay, so there's from that, your thoughts can cascade down into all of the terrible things that might happen. You might have to sell your house, you're going to go bankrupt, no one will love you, you'll have to live in your car. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that comes up. If we dwell on that, if I dwell on the lack of not having any money, then the difficulty is compounded because it gets in the way of me seeing the opportunities for earning more that would lift me out of this circumstance. So the thing that I try to remind myself is that it's a choice. And when I have a negative thought like that, like bankruptcy comes up, I'll say, next. And so that's my psychological device for getting rid of that and putting something new in my mental screen. Okay, what about the idea of X? You know, maybe I could take a different kind of case that I don't normally take. Or maybe I can go through all of my auto pays and see which ones I really don't need. And so the idea is that the quality of our thoughts and how we think and what we think about determines the quality of our lives. So if we keep it good, if we keep it positive, if we keep it focused on solutions and opportunities and what a gift life is to even
Hmm.
have a dilemma, things work out.
Rick, I love every bit of that. I love you telling your having a mechanism for your mind to move on. Like you're not shutting it down, you're not repressing, you just make it there's aware. You just heightening the awareness for that unconscious mind that there is another choice. And you are the boss inside. So you're making the choice that you're going to move on to another thought. And if that one's negative, then we're going to just keep moving on until we can get one that is more oriented toward being positive. I love that. So that is really fantastic. And I don't think I know that what you said, that it becomes a cascading thought. It takes you down a rabbit hole of negativity. And people think that it's the external world in the form of people or situations that are causing that, but that's not what's causing that. All of that is indifferent. What's causing that is you, like you're the one causing it. So an example of that, of having one thought and then or be presented with a reality, and then you just make it up from that point on. And what you make up, which is in the form of thoughts, becomes your experience of that reality, um, of that day. So, for example, at Mayo Clinic, oftentimes Staffing can be short for many reasons. Somebody had COVID, and they don't want to come to the hospital, so we keep our patients and their staff, their colleagues safe. Another reason, maybe they have a family situation that they have to deal with. It's a lot of reasons why people may not be able to come to work or choose not to come to work. If you're a person who's working that day and you feel like there is too much work already, then you hearing that a colleague has called out that day, you may say, oh my God, this is going to be a horrible day. Who says it's going to be a horrible day? So just you present it with reality that the colleague is not going to be there. And you have a couple of choices. One choice that I see people often make, unfortunately, because it's unconscious, is that this is going to be a horrible day. And then from that point on, the day turns out to be what? Horrible. But it wasn't because things happened that made it horrible. It was because you have really foreshadowed. You've already kind of declared that this is what it's going to be. And then the rest of your interpretations along the way throughout the day were oriented toward making that true. And so, but if you say to yourself, like, okay, we do have a lot of work to do. We really could benefit from having all hands on deck, but we don't. I'm going to make the most of this moment. How can I serve even better today? How can I lighten someone else's load even more? Since we are, short staffed. That's one way to do it. Here in Arizona, especially down here where I live, Rick, you've wised up and moved away from this part of Arizona. But you walk out during the morning and it's already 100 degrees and it's just 9 o'clock. You can say, man, this is gonna be a horrible day. It's so hot out there. Guess what? You're gonna have a horrible, hot 100-degree day. But if you just notice the weather on your skin, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make the best of this 100-degree day. And you make the best of the day. And it's amazing how life will line up for you when you choose to interpret everything that is happening as a gift that you get to experience in a very unique way. You and I could be doing the same activity, but we will experience it differently, uniquely different because we're different. And that's just such a gift. Nobody else is going to have this experience that you're going to have. Like it's amazing. And we just keep throwing it away because of what you alluded to, thoughts. Our thoughts are make or break us.
That's so true, Keith. It's beautifully said. It's so true. Yeah. If you remember always that you have the power to create the kind of life that you want for yourself, and that begins with choosing what you think about, what you focus on, and how you approach life. If you have this overall framework like you do of gratitude and whatever shows up I can deal with, hey, we're going to make the best of this, things really do fall in line for you. That doesn't mean you're free from the
Mm-mm.
stings of life. Never. We're never free from any of that. It's always about the reaction, always about how we're able to treat circumstance and not about how the circumstances are screwing me. You're the
Oh,
one screwing yourself if you think.
absolutely. Absolutely. When I was all those years where I allowed my unconscious thinking to not run my life, but ruin my life, I was just like, man, how did I even get to this? How did you make it to the next day with that kind of negativity? And I see people doing it today, and I often think to myself, like, there's a different way. And I'm not judging them for still being in that space. What I'm thinking about is how many people observe me doing the same thing day after day, year after year, decade after decade, living that way. It's just like, okay, he's choosing suffering. All right, that's his choice. He can have it. And I am just really confident by the fact that we have this practice, that we are really, really diligent about doing things that help us be aware of our unguarded thoughts. And that tactic that you mentioned, where you say next, is something that brings you right back to the present moment, and acknowledging that you have a choice about how you want to experience that moment. And for you and myself and some of our friends, we don't want to spend those moments suffering. Rick, thank you for a great show.
Hey, thank you, Keith. Appreciate being included.